Okay, ladies and gentlemen, happy Wednesday. Welcome to group chat. And I am happy to announce the government has taken care of us.
Yes.
We got our loans. Our employees will survive. I mean, what a time to be an American and just feel supported.
Millions of dollars has shown up in our bank accounts.
I mean, this is the
believe it.
biggest win for small businesses in the history of corporate America.
I mean, we're all going to be just fine. I knew that you could count on the U.S. government and the power of the U.S. dollar in times like this.
Love the Trump
I
guy.
literally was last night, before I went to sleep, I was planning a vacation.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to take maybe 10% of this $3 million I just got and blow it on a summer soiree in the south of France.
And I'm guessing if you take a few of your staff, they might not collect it back.
Yeah. And
It's a
they
staff
said,
bonus.
Offsite in San Tropez when they settle down.
That's
I'll do it in
overhead.
September.
That's infrastructure cost.
Global warming, San Tropez gonna be fine all fall.
Oh, man, what a time to be an American, man.
And I'm full of shit.
Anyway, psych.
So
Exact opposite.
if those who follow me on social media, I went nuts on Twitter. Then I went nuts on Instagram, and I shared that I thought the SBA is a scam. The PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Program, is a scam. And the reason I said that was we bank with several banks. One of our businesses is with Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is one of the biggest banks on earth. Wells Fargo is also, I like to refer to as Wells Fraudgo. Mm-hmm. They commit more fraud than any criminal enterprise ever. And they have been limited to only $10 billion of the PPP program, one of the largest banks in America. And what happened? This weekend, their link opened up. We go to it. By the time we submit our application, it's full. The link was open for a whole 2 hours on Sunday, and millions of customers of theirs were not able to apply. Our other bank that we use, we're still applying, they're apparently still open. But to say the least, the process of the SBA disaster loan and now PPP have been an utter and complete disaster.
And I saw on the news that they were also having problems where like people's full information, social security, everything were showing up when other people opened the page.
That's really good.
That's even worse.
Yes. Some guy opened his page. It showed somebody else's complete information. He cleared it, entered his, and then somebody called him and said, hey, man, I have all your information.
So if you want to just peel a layer off this, what's really going on? The banks have given loans, but who are they giving it to? They're giving it to their high-profile clients that either bank tons of money, have loans that they're like these high-valued clients of the banks.
Yeah.
That's very few people. They get the money first. Small businesses, which is what we thought this was all for, don't get it. I don't know one small business that's received $1. Do you?
Well, our friends played a sick joke on me and said they got $2.8 million. And I absolutely...
D was having a heart attack. And it was Michael Scott Cohen and John Algem telling him they got almost $3 million. And then we're just going at John on Instagram, calling him a brat. This is what's wrong with this.
You're elitist, this, that. And then I'm like yelling and screaming at everybody. I'm just so angry that these guys got the money already. And I didn't even get to apply.
D was hyperventilating. And
I literally had a panic attack.
I text Michael on the side like, hey, check out us on Instagram going after your partner. And he goes, we made it all up.
Did they post it or they just told you guys
They
that?
just told us, and then we just...
God.
John commented on the Instagram, you need new bankers, I got my money.
Yeah.
And so I text him, I'm like, you already got money? We can't even apply. How did you already get money?
I think we probably just did that in the intro. There's a few people. There's a few people that were steaming.
Yeah. And
God,
so what I've learned so far after that rant, I got a shit ton of DMs. And the moral of the story is these big banks are useless. Bank of America, when they initially launched it, wanted to tie it to people that had credit cards or previous loans. So those are your best small businesses that already have loan facilities. Mm-hmm. Then they got so much flack that the president said you have to entertain it for all people. The real opportunity is going to the small regional banks. So I got then DM'd by so many banks in Minnesota, Fresno, like all
What's
these.
the catch there, though? There's got to be a catch.
There is, I think every bank that's approved is getting allocated some amount of loans, and these smaller banks just have smaller businesses,
right.
so it's a lot easier. So that's when I started exploring all these different banking options. The other interesting stat I heard was, and this is someone from Twitter that spoke to someone in the fund business that said $1.7 trillion of loans were applied for $350 billion of loans. So if you know math, 1.7 trillion minus 350 billion, we're short $1.3.5 trillion to actually give people the loans they need. The first problem is there's a shitload of fraud going on.
Yeah.
Shitload of fraud. Probably 1.5 trillion of that is bullshit.
Yeah, so the people that actually need the loans aren't getting them, and the people who don't need them are getting them.
Yeah. So like, I'll give you an example. If we're at the mercy of a loan officer and it was us versus like the H-Wood group, who's essentially shut, doing no revenue, and trying to figure out what the next step is, I would feel comfortable as a business owner because we're still able to at least generate sales and be like, okay, if they're going to get the money over me, I'm okay with it. But if it's going to someone that just has a better banking relationship than us, and their business may or may not, every business has been affected. No one's like completely on it. I mean, maybe Zoom and like, some cloud technology and soft weird food snacks or toilet paper, but 90% of the businesses have been affected. So, they're entitled to some share of this money that's being handed out. The problem is like, I have a feeling it's going to be total favoritism when it comes down to actually who gets the money.
Yeah, and then let's think about it even further. If our businesses like ours don't get the loans, extrapolate that across the country, that 10 million unemployed goes to 50.
Yeah.
Not 30.
That number is going to go wild, I think. That my biggest concern, not that obviously loss of life is tragic, and I think we know kind of where that's trending. I don't think people know where loss of jobs is trending and how bad it is really going to be.
Yeah. And
yeah, like there's a large portion of our economy that business didn't go from 100% to like 70%. It went to 0.
Yeah.
And we're week 2, 3? Where are we right now? 3?
Yeah.
Like what's going to happen week 6?
Yeah.
You can't go 0 cash flow for these businesses for 6 to 8 weeks. What if it's 12 weeks?
Yeah.
Without any assistance.
Yeah. And they even said, I got DM'd also by someone that is in the SBA loan space and said there's going to be more stimulus that they've heard, that, and Nancy Pelosi kind of announced it today, that there's going to be another $1 trillion. So looks like there's going to be more stimulus. The problem is, when is the money actually going to come? So, I spoke to someone in Canada yesterday. They're saying that money could come in September. Most of these businesses, we can't wait till September. September is like...
So the first $2 trillion came and gone, and we have no idea where it went.
Yeah.
I don't care if the stimulus is 10 trillion, 20 trillion. The government is not equipped to get it to the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get it to us in a timely manner, because even if technically the right people were approved, how quickly will the money get dispersed, and how will they track it, and how will they know it forgave it? It's just like, it's literally a wild goose chase. You're almost better off doing like some sort of UBI version for businesses, and based on your revenue, you get just a percentage.
Yeah, just like based on 2018 tax returns, because people haven't even filed 2019.
Yeah.
This
Your
is
sales.
what you get.
Yeah.
Boom. Individually, here's how you get it. Corporate level, this is what you get. Because what's going on now is you have, any building, people won't pay rent.
Yep.
Landlord's now getting aggressive.
Yep.
Landlord doesn't have rent. He can't pay his mortgage.
Yep.
Then the bank's screwed. Then, who's left holding the bag?
Yeah. Oh, man. Either way, it's back to the government, right? If it goes all the way to the banks getting screwed, they're getting bailed out. One way or another, you're bailing someone out.
Right. And what frustrates me the most is I've seen Governor Newsom, Mayor Garcetti trying to calm people down. Like, don't worry about the financial implications. Just stay at home.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're worrying about everything. We're staying at home. We're getting hit up by all our vendors,
Yeah.
landlords, you name it. How are you not going to freak out?
Yeah, it also is crazy to me how much they are under serving that issue. Like, it's such a fucking issue. And I still think that the overall devastation and death toll from that will be mind-blowing. But no one's even like talking about it. They're saying, listen, health is first, everyone stay home. This isn't a this or that. There's only one answer here, and it's health. Stay home. Like, I get it, man. And I understand that for the people who are especially at high risk, it is tragic and terrifying. But man, we have not seen even the beginning of how serious the economic impact is being taken serious or talked about.
No, and the stimulus talk. The problem is you pass 1.7 trillion, which is what I think the first 1.5, whatever it was, and you see how it's going to get dispersed. Like, if you don't have a high level banking relationship, you're not going to get moved to the front of the line. It's going to be riddled with fraud. There's going to be, even if half the people that deserve the money that actually get it, the other half are screwed. It's like, it's going to be really ugly. And everyone you talk to about different industries, like, no one sees a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
No.
and if you talk to people in other countries, the countries actually stepped up. So like in Dubai and United Arab Emirates, they said, don't pay your rent. Everyone's good. Just stay at home.
I would love that. I'd happily
Yeah.
stay at home if I don't have
They
to pay rent.
basically, they are the ones that are actually like, you actually don't have to worry about your financial obligations. Stay your ass at home.
Yeah.
Here, they're trying to say, you don't have to worry about your financial obligations, I guess. Stay at home, I guess.
No, they're just not talking about it. They're saying, don't worry about your financial implications. We'll worry about that later.
Yeah, just
What's
stay
more
home.
important is this.
Yeah.
And that's going to be devastating.
Yeah.
We need a $15 trillion package
Yeah.
that everyone just gets the money you would have made anyway
Yes.
and
Yeah.
fucking stay at home,
Yeah.
and we'll shut down the stock market and revisit this in October.
Yeah, the actual way to do it is you go through everyone's W-2s,
Yeah.
and this is what you get every month we have to shut down.
Businesses. And
LeBron, you get $17 million a month, and you continue to get your 17.
I hope you're going to be
17's like
okay with
50.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cut. He'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah. You want me to take a pay cut?
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, good luck out there, everyone. We'll keep you updated on what we're doing
Yeah.
because no one else is really talking about it.
Yeah.
At least honestly. Okay. As you can see, guys,
We're going to bleed to death either way, either
Yeah,
through
yeah.
corona or business-wise.
either way, yeah. It's
Either way, we're dying.
either way, we're podcasters now. Okay. Guys, as you can see, I'm wearing a mask.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And the reason I'm wearing a mask today is because I'm taking these precautions seriously.
Yeah.
LA is warning. So we've done a really good job. We've talked about it on the pod. LA's done a really good job at shutting down on time. Cases haven't really spiked. ICUs seem to be not packed. We have kind of backup plans. That being said, they're warning that this week could be the most brutal week and a big transition week on where we go. So even warning people not to do your essential trips. Don't go to the grocery store. Don't go to the pharmacy. Don't go anywhere unless you absolutely have to. So is this them just being ahead of it again? And is it another precautionary
Yeah,
thing,
I
or-
think that's what it is. Because, not to make light of this, but 15 people died yesterday.
I know.
15
That's-
people, like, no offense, probably get mowed down walking
On
in the city.
birds.
I've gotten hit by cars numerous times in walking in the city.
And I think this is to what Matt Belinsky was talking about on the last podcast. We're making decisions based on no data.
Yep.
So I think the state is basically in the city like, okay, we've been trending good. Let's double down on this. Whether it's the right thing or not, scare people even further to stay home, and maybe we'll be better on the other side.
Yep.
I can't imagine they're not explaining why this is the week. Tell me why this is the week.
yeah.
Tell me why the 3 weeks prior didn't work as well.
Yeah.
What did we do wrong?
Yep.
And I'll tell you, whatever they're doing is working clearly,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Only the fact that only 400 cases were reported, I think, in LA yesterday. When you walk around town, everyone's wearing a mask.
Everyone.
Like we went for a walk. We were the only people not wearing masks.
Yeah.
It is nuts. Everyone is wearing a mask, and so people are following the rules. People are paying attention to what our government is saying. So my hope is they're overcorrecting for all the lack of effort they put on early on when they let the LA Marathon cesspool run through the city, literally run through the city. And now we should see the results of this, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, because like if next week goes by and there's like 50 cases, we got to start opening shit up soon.
I know.
I mean, it's like,
at least just like ease
or
off.
just lie to us and say there's 8,000 cases.
Yeah.
I'd rather be lied to at this point and just tell me there's 10,000 cases a day. Sit your ass at home. Because if I turn on the news and I hear there's 12 cases today.
Yeah. I'm out. I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm running. I'm finding some sort of gym.
Yeah, because the weather next week is great.
It's too nice to have 12 deaths,
perfect
man.
today.
And by the way, I don't want you guys to forget this. This is Coachella weekend.
I totally
know.
forgot.
And
Why would you say that?
I know.
Seasonally,
You're a fucking asshole, man.
seasonally
We would be
cold.
getting-
I'm going to
ready.
order a pool floaty, and I'm just
Yes.
going to put it in my apartment and just sit in it.
Seasonally cold
Really?
for Coachella. 70-degree high in India.
I
That's what
like
they're
that.
saying.
That would have been perfect.
Okay. No way.
Oh, you
Sorry.
like
Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. That's 70 today. It's 80.
Ah,
Yeah,
shit.
you're
back.
No.
You're back.
Friday is 69. Saturday is 80. Sunday 80. I mean,
I mean,
Saturday's the big day.
The
the
Tuesday
FOMOs.
of Coachella week is just like you just start getting super excited.
Yeah.
You're
I
like
mean, literally
2
in-
days away from like getting to the house.
In 2013, D would be leaving tomorrow.
Yes. Easily. I would be gone.
Yeah.
Like
He'd be home right now packing.
He'd be out of here tomorrow morning.
I've many times gone to Coachella by myself.
Yes.
But no wife, no nobody.
Nothing.
I just went by myself.
and just like, hey, how's the pool heater work? Can you ask how the pool heater works?
And I'd just be drunk sitting in the pool by myself,
Yep.
go to Mastro's with some friends and just like, but that's this weekend. Coachella is happening.
you know, Coachella's doing some sort of like 20 years in the desert live stream.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good try.
Catch a brick.
Good freaking try. Nobody's even admitted. Do you think that they've admitted to themselves in their offices that October's not happening?
No.
You think they still think so?
I think
I'll still
they do.
show up.
For what? An empty field?
I might actually just, we talked about this, me and my friends. We might just go.
Just go out there, take a
Yeah.
friend who knows how to play guitar and
Yeah.
just sit in the field?
Why not? Free
Oh, yeah,
tickets.
take Tim.
Take Tim.
Tim's a
Tim and I will
musician.
record a first podcast from there.
No, he's a musician.
Yeah, well, yeah,
He'd
too.
be on the main stage
Yeah.
and the Sahara tent and the Gobi.
Go Tim!
Oh, man, what a bummer that is, man. Coachella. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I thought Coachella was untouchable.
Yeah, that we did.
Okay, next up is, in this this day and age of fraud. I mean, I think good fraudsters are going to really win big during Corona. And that goes for everyone, even news outlets,
Yeah.
because CBS has admitted to using footage from Italy in their New York coronavirus reporting.
Yeah.
So fuck it, man. You got to spice up the footage a little.
Yeah.
You got to get some more blood and guts and craziness. Patch in from Italy. Call it New York.
This is why I can't believe we can even turn on the TV and take these clowns seriously.
Yeah,
You
can't.
They're
can't.
just
there's
lying.
nothing. There's nothing to
They're
take seriously.
there's nothing. I tried to give 60 Minutes a shot the other day.
Come on, that's insane.
And I'm watching 60 Minutes and I'm like, oh my God, you guys said nothing in 60 Minutes.
Didn't you
Literally
post praise
60
though?
minutes. What?
Didn't you praise it online?
No.
Didn't you say
I think
like
he was
6
mocking it.
I was mocking it. I was just like, they are almost good. Like they had Danny Meyer from Shake Shack and his whole empire, and he's like, we got to do something. Yeah, we got to do something. Blah blah blah. We got to get masks. And then the episode ends. I was like, you said nothing.
Oh,
You
my
literally
gosh.
did nothing. You just wasted 60 minutes. This is the problem: is that like we don't even demand of our media to be truthful. They can say and do whatever they want. They exaggerate information. Like even today, there was a case where they said Donald Trump is invested in the drug company that owns the malaria medication, Sanofi or however.
Sanofi, yeah.
Sanofi. And I went and looked at the article. He has a retirement account. In the retirement account, a mutual fund holds the stock.
No, not only that, it's under 15,000 a basket of pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
They are suspecting about $450 is in Sanofi.
Scam.
That is a
It's a scam.
headline.
That's what we should be focused on.
That is the headline that these guys are pushing. That Donald Trump is making money off the maker of the malaria drug. I mean, give me a fucking break.
You know, the media is an absolute joke, which I think everyone knew, but this just crystallizes it because we're just getting so much misinformation. For as much shit as people talk about Silicon Valley, there's a handful of folks there that are actually dissecting the data, publicly putting it out for free, and actually giving you an understanding of what the hell is going on.
I'll tell you the
Can you
problem.
tell us who? Can you tell us where to go?
Kevin Systrom, founder of Instagram, has dedicated his entire site, like systrom.com, to COVID cases. And he's like, I've spent my entire career analyzing data. I'm going to deep dive on this and tell you guys what I find. Bill Gates, obviously.
Yeah.
There's the biggest, but now he's kind of becoming like fear-mongering, is a guy named Balaji Srinivasan, who was the CTO of Coinbase. He predicted all of this back in like early Jan, end of December, that this was going to happen. The problem, what he's doing now is just saying the world's over completely and never coming back.
Yeah.
So that's...
You know what their problem is because I do read all these people's things. They're just not sexy enough. You know, like we need a little sex with our media and news.
Well, that's what you got CNN. You got Jeffrey
I know,
Zucker
but, like,
giving you sex.
I know
The
but,
death
like,
counter.
We need
The
a little,
death counter is the equivalent of sex.
That's what I'm saying,
Is
like-
Pornhub for CNN.
exactly, and that's why like normal people can't digest truly analytical thought because it's not interesting.
No, so those people go to CNN and get scared shitless.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's most of America get their information from cable news.
Yeah.
And it's just bullshit.
Yeah, it's just so rare that something is, I mean, I'm trying to think of examples, but like, it's so rare that something is truly done well with depth and also entertaining. That's a really hard, like, crossroads, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It's a very, very challenging thing.
I guess that's what group chat does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We
what we
actually
do.
did that.
Yeah, actually, no, wait a minute. I know a few guys doing that.
Barstool does it for sports.
Yeah, they
in
do.
my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, well, just be careful what you watch, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I would say, like, read some of these John Hopkins things, read some of Anand's suggestions, but I would take in very little if I was the average listener.
I would say this: if you're an average listener, be very careful about headlines. Yeah. That's where they screw you, because most people are headline readers, and you hear these crazy headlines. Like it's like these graphs they use for death counts compared to other countries, but they'll show a country with a population of like 10 million and compare it to ours, which has 330 million, and say, we are eclipsing Luxembourg, but Luxembourg has like no people, so who fucking cares?
And also keep in mind, the numbers still mean nothing to
Yeah.
me. Like, I know that the deaths are a lot, undeniable. It's definitely bad, but there are so many people that have this thing that aren't tested. And so any number of, here's how many cases, here's how many percentage, it's just not true. Like, you just fundamentally can't believe it.
Yeah, it's incomplete data sets, but we're forced to make drastic decisions based on it.
Yeah. That's why I say when all the news yesterday was that New York might be reaching some sort of beginning of a flatten of the curve, but it's just like, you have no idea. You're literally not testing. Like, that data is just false.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Okay. Well, that's what's up there. Well, good news for all of us, because good old Larry Kudlow, Trump's top economic advisor.
You may have seen him on CNBC.
Good old
Used to be a
Kudlow.
host.
You know, good old Larry Kudlow. He's saying that the U.S. economy may reopen completely in 4 to 8 weeks.
Completely open.
So just, you know, who cares about that stimulus?
Yeah.
Stay home a little longer, and we're all back to normal. We'll be back at Poppy and Bootsy's and grabbing dinner in no time. October, Coachella.
I mean, I'm gonna be at Coachella in October. I was doubting it. Now I'll be there.
I mean,
I'll tell you what,
Took all of like 5 minutes.
I would say the easiest way to simply say what 4 to 8 weeks is going to look like is a slightly worse version of China, which is very, very slow, little bits of reopening, still counting the amount of people in a store. They're tracking all their citizens. Everyone's still wearing masks. I mean, it essentially looks like LA does right now.
Yeah. And I would even imagine, I was talking to someone about this. What does a restaurant business look like? Does it mean that half the seats are taken out, half the tables are taken out?
Right.
Like, imagine walking into what's a restaurant probably everyone's walking to, like a Chili's, and every other table is full.
Right.
And that's how they seat people, because that's enough distance for the purposes of social distancing.
then like a waiter can't serve 5 tables, can only serve 1 table.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. What I don't get is if you have a waiter going from table to table, what's the difference?
Yeah.
If they're going to 10 tables or 5. Like you're just, and then they're all meeting back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then they're all coming back. It's just like
and the cook's making the food for everyone.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Which confuses me in delivery rooms right now. When people are giving birth, the father is only allowed to be there for the actual point of delivery, and then they have to leave. You already let him up there.
It's already done.
Might as well
done.
stay.
It's done. I don't get it. I don't
Because
get it.
that affects my life. I want to be in the delivery room. My wife gives birth, and
So you're at end of August, right?
Yeah, but
we're not out of this end of August.
yeah,
you might have to just pop in. You have to pop in and give a wave.
yeah,
I'm fucking staying.
yeah.
I mean, that's what I was telling my dad. Like my mom and dad, and they fixed it now. So thank you guys. 'Cause I know you're listening. My dad was like, "Oh, your mom's staying home, but I'm still going to some things." And I'm like,
What things?
That's the same thing. Like a little, like our friends had a little dinner. This was 2 weeks ago, but had a little dinner.
That's like shooting someone.
And he's like, I popped in and grabbed some food to take home. And I'm like, that's all the same as if mom went and you guys stayed there for 7 hours. There is no difference.
Yep.
But people don't, it's like you think that there's this, I don't know, man. That's why I think, look, I don't blame people for not knowing and for trying their best, but that is why I think this thing is going to stick around much longer than we think.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's going to be I do believe there are going to be some resemblance of opening up in 4 to 8 weeks. I believe that, but I think it's not what everyone thinks it's going to be.
Yeah, that's the misinformation, because the way we know Larry Kudlow's a joke, but other people don't know Larry Kudlow's a joke. So they're going to say like, oh, my business will be back in 6 weeks. I'm good. It's like the same thing. If someone told me I'm not getting a paycheck for 2 months, but it's coming the third month, I'll make some changes. Nothing drastic, but if someone told me I'm not getting a paycheck for 9 months, you better believe I'm making drastic life changes.
And that's what I don't get. Why not say 9 months? And if it's 6, we did great.
Yeah.
Why keep going by month-to-month increments and keep people's hopes up? And people are going to be devastated that way. It's the same way it bums me out so much that for the longest time, the advice was do not buy masks. Masks don't help normal people. Even though that made 0 sense, people followed it.
Yep.
The moment LA is saying, if you're going to leave your house, wear a mask. Not only is that just so irresponsible, because what have you been doing the last month?
Yep.
But everyone followed it. Everyone's wearing a mask. And I have to believe that's going to have a huge impact on spread. But damn it, man, you wasted a whole month telling everyone it doesn't help you.
So yeah, if we shut down earlier, if we wore masks earlier, these all were solvable problems. And they weren't that hard to make, these decisions. The data was there. We just choose not to look at it.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's wild. Okay, how about the UK, Donald Trump, Boris Johnson is in the frickin' ICU, man. He has corona. He looked okay. He was doing Skypes and telling people to stay inside. He looked just sick. And
He always looks sick to me, though.
yeah,
He
he
just
just looked sick.
just looked a
but with,
mess.
He looked like normal him, but with like glossier eyes.
Yeah, and normally I'd be not rooting for him because I don't think he's a good guy.
Yep.
But he needs to live. These people need to live. These world leaders cannot die. I don't even like that he got it.
Uncertainty in the markets. I mean, he's in the ICU. It's
Yeah.
not like he's
That means
quarantining
it's-
at home.
And they're saying he's in stable condition, but like,
But are they lying?
You
to
don't know what
us?
that means.
yeah, that
Who
means,
knows?
That means he's on a ventilator.
yeah.
They said that they
When you-
moved him to ICU because he was having trouble breathing and he might need a ventilator. That was the last report.
If you're
Yeah,
on a
when-
ventilator, I just went through this because a friend of mine's mom is going through it. They're saying it's weeks on ventilators, sometimes even a month.
And
You're in a coma.
now we know with the way the news reports it, if Boris Johnson is reported not to be on a ventilator, that means he is on a ventilator.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's a good way to tell. Yeah. Damn it, man. I just wonder, like, I feel like if someone big like that died, it would
bad.
cause
And
absolute-
he also was publicly saying, like, calling it a joke, went to the ICU and shaking people's hands.
yeah, people.
He's the Rudy Gobert of London.
I was gonna say, if there's anything about this virus, is to not fucking make fun of it, because
No.
apparently everybody just gets snatched
Yeah.
the second you do.
I mean,
Yeah.
all these people's comments and shit are not aging well.
No.
You know what I mean?
I know it's more than the flu. Don't attack
Yes.
me, Corona.
Yeah.
We are all
I
very
know, I
clear.
I
said
never called it the flu.
I called
never
it the flu, guys. I called it the flu like 2 months ago. I'm sorry.
It's the same shit.
Yeah,
we
you
did.
should
Corona
do a
gods.
public
It's
apology
It's the same
to
shit we did
Corona
with
gods.
China. We're like, China?
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, I would like to formally apologize to Corona, COVID-19, SARS-2,
all its friends.
all the friends and family,
Yes,
all
we'll be
coronaviruses.
releasing an official statement soon.
Yeah, MERS.
As a group.
All of them. I apologize. You are dead serious. I didn't mean it. Okay, another big area that's getting affected is crops farming, just because of quarantines, people there to work on it, obvious things, but it could cause some real shortages in different things. So,
Well, the real shortage is people, because guess who doesn't want to work on farms? Young Pete's. Young Pete's don't want to work on farms.
That is
they're watching El
100%.
Presidente live stream from home.
You know
Day
who works
trade.
on farms? Immigrants.
Well, not in Wisconsin.
Oh, white people work on farms?
My friend owns a farm. He just bought more land.
He owns it.
Owns it?
Who's
He's a
the-
slave
Yeah.
master.
He bought it from his dad.
Who's out there with the
And
hose?
he just bought more land.
I know, but who's out there
Who's out there hoeing?
husking corn? What race are they?
Literally mostly white.
I don't
Really?
think
Really
that's
not
Pete.
that many Mexicans. Yeah, no. Most of the land is
So you got whites up in Wisconsin doing physical
yeah.
labor.
You know how far that is
Wow.
from like the Mexico border? It'd take them forever to get there. And it's cold.
So this was
They don't wanna be there.
now 16 years ago, and I remember being at Sears Tower when I worked at Citigroup. I was there for like a work trip, and we were there like super late at night working, and I saw a white person come in to clean the office, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like white people do this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just for us immigrants.
But yeah, I mean, there's like
That
a
was 16
serious.
years ago, so I don't know if Chicago's changed since.
It's probably changed.
There's a lot of issues with the farming industry because there's just shortage of staff because the borders are closed.
Yeah.
And there's a delay of people traveling, and like that will have. These are the things about the economy that people don't understand. There's an enormous demand for food right now, but what if there's no one to farm it?
Yep.
And there's no people to transport it? It's like these are the impacts that I don't know people are not really seeing.
Yeah,
Well, the good thing is we have toilet paper.
Yes.
So I have 65 rolls,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing I don't need my veggies.
Interesting enough, I went to get a paper towel. Can't find paper towels anywhere.
Nope.
Rite Aid told me, this is on Sunset Rite Aid, if anyone goes there, 7 a.m. on Wednesdays and Saturdays. He's like, be here, you can get them.
like
So
a
I'm
Supreme
coming.
drop?
I'm going tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to get my
Oh,
paper
is there a
towels.
line at Rite Aid too, or is that just grocery stores?
Rite Aid, there's nobody. The Whole Foods and Bristol Farms, most of the day is pretty empty.
And-
Trader Joe's, for whatever reason, there's a Trader Joe's not too far from
It's
me,
insane.
always
There's
busy.
one next to me. Here's a simple life hack. Hopefully, it doesn't ruin it for me. If you need daily essentials, 7-Eleven's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good call.
Egg, milk, all that stuff.
Good
Yeah.
call. Because I've been out of paper towels for 2 weeks now, and I just haven't bothered. I use towels.
I in the office because no one's doing it.
This motherfucker.
I'm just using t-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm just literally
I've
like
used t-shirts.
I get-
T-shirts for what?
Washing my hands.
Samples.
Really?
He walks in yesterday and he like washes his hands, walks to his office, grabs a shirt and just starts wiping his face. What are you doing? There's paper towel in there. And there was at the time. He goes, couldn't find any, but we have a plethora of cotton t-shirts.
Yeah, it's great. Good time to own a clothing line. I'm guessing you can wipe your ass with them, too.
You know what? I might start wiping out last year's clothes.
Yeah.
It's probably worth
Clogged
more as toilet
toilet.
paper
Why
at this
not?
point.
Did you guys see also that this seems like the beginning of a big problem, that Trader Joe's and Walmart have officially reported deaths in cashiers and stuff?
Holy shit!
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah.
There was one Trader Joe's, I think 2 from the same Walmart in Chicago.
If you were to rank risk that's in society right now, doctors, nurses, anyone working in a hospital,
Yep.
like high number 1, close second is a Trader Joe's cashier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're just breathing back and forth in everyone's face. Any of that thing where you interact closely with a large number of people, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And even with masks, like there's sweat in the air. There's like so many possibilities of attracting like disease.
I mean, I think that when they go back and study this thing, they're gonna see one of my things would be like how easily it spread. Because this thing, I mean, the way this thing spreads, like these cruise ships and like whatever, where like one person has it and then half of a fucking cruise ship has it,
Yeah.
or that aircraft carrier, or all these things. It's like, what spreads like that?
yeah.
That's wild.
It's really
That's
crazy.
why it's so obvious that it was like genetically created.
I'm starting to buy into that.
Like how did
It's
this?
too perfect.
Yeah.
And doesn't and can spread before you show symptoms.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about this briefly, but just a quick little flyby. Obviously we're kind of seeing that the $2 trillion stimulus wasn't enough. It looks like they're beginning to kind of huddle up and have little conversations. I mean, I think we need to spend 1 week doing everything to the absolute fucking max. So tell everyone to wear masks, give a stimulus package of $10 trillion, and tell everyone that the stock market is closed and the economy won't reopen until October.
Why close
Why
the
not?
stock market? It just keeps going up.
Yeah.
Here's my new one.
People are gonna
Wind's
get
closed
spanked.
and it keeps going up. Live Nation, a lot of concerts people are going to right now, right?
Lots of concerts. I went to a great one the other night. It was in Chris Martin's living
Stock
room.
market is-
It was DJ D Nice. God.
The stock market is the fakest thing in the world. It reflects nothing.
I mean, let's talk about it. It's on here. What the fuck is going on?
So Monday, the stock market just surged on no news, really. Just said that the peak is near. There's other information in other countries that has slowed down, but our economy is effectively shut. Our stock market is not representing the economic impact of our society. Instead, it's like, I get it's all about speculation and why things eventually are going to be opened up. But everyone has said to expect 25-30% decline in their business. All these companies have clearly modeled that. Our stock market's not even down 25-30% anymore. In fact, until this, we're recording this on Tuesday. Tuesday morning, our friend Michael Katz and I and Anand sit on a group chat where we talk about trading stuff. Michael, I wake up. I had a bad night of sleep. I wake up at like 5-something a.m. Michael's first text, I would not flip over your phone. You're going to have a heart attack.
So full disclosure, I'm short a few things in the market right now.
Yeah.
I saw that at 5:30
Yeah.
and got so fucking pissed I didn't respond until 10 in the morning.
Yeah, I just figured you slept in till 10. I'm like, this
I
fucking-
was so angry when I saw Michael Katz is like, don't look on your phone.
So I immediately go look. Market's up 900 points Tuesday morning. And I'm like, on what data? Did they find a vaccine? Did they find this? And I just didn't understand it. So I'm combing through the news, combing through information. The only thing that we know is that kind of in some states, we have some sort of sense of order and that's it. And that there are some signs of a peak in some parts of the country. But it's so unclear. Even LA is saying next week is the peak, not this week. And the stock market keeps going up. Finally, by the end of the day, stock market ended down flat. Nothing happened. But the mere fact that it went up, it just tells you it's just being manipulated. People are completely fucking with the everyday person.
Yeah.
I'm watching Dave Portnoy, who's literally his first tweet of the morning was fuck Boeing because he was up and he was shorting it.
His rant on not listening to the Suits was so good on a Monday or Tuesday. I went to Monday.
Yeah.
And he just woke up to like, these fucking Suits
Yeah.
screwed me out of $500,000. He's going off on everyone. Here's the biggest problem I have with what's going on now versus 2008. There is an argument to be made in 2008. An average investor didn't really understand how mortgages could cripple the entire financial crisis, which is why the market was going up. Like scenes in The Big Short are the best to watch if you want to understand it, where the traders can't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And I actually genuinely believe they didn't understand the impact of what was happening.
Yeah.
Business is zero. I don't think it's like a shock.
Yeah.
Box office theaters went from 200 million to zero.
No, 5,000.
To 5,000, sorry. Some people in Florida find people in Florida.
Yeah, but Louisiana made it out to see that new Jumanji.
But like hotels, Vegas, zero. They're closed. You don't need to be like a math whiz to figure out how mortgage markets could cripple the entire financial economy.
It's just all these fucking idiots like the people on TikTok that are like, now is the time. This is the best. Look at us. We came up in the best generation for investing. They say be scared. We see opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's like you're like a fraction of the way into this mess.
Yeah.
And you think that you just discovered gold and it's going to bounce back. It's crazy.
Yeah, like I think this is the one time you can pull 100 out of 100 people that say, yeah, the economy's screwed. No one's making any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas in mid-2008, you could say, oh, Lehman went bankrupt, or before Lehman went bankrupt. Oh, Bear Stearns got bought for pennies on the dollar. What does that even mean? How does that affect me?
Yeah.
My store's still working. My
Yeah.
restaurant's still open. Like, no, everything's closed.
Yeah.
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 It
This is the
just
Great
doesn't
Depression.
make sense right now. It literally doesn't make sense.
It's just so wild. Okay, well, I mean, whatever. I feel like we're in for at least that crowd.
And the thing is all the big banks and analysts have come out and said, like, this is horrific. And I think most people don't even think companies are going to report earnings. They're just going to say decline.
Can you do that?
I mean, I think SEC might just let companies do that because it's just so unprecedented.
Yeah, there's going to be people that say we had zero revenue. Like, what does the stock do? Go up like 3x?
Or what happens to projections?
Yeah, they said most companies have come out and said,
no, probably nothing.
Yeah, like Nike said they're not project. Most companies that have had to come out and do earnings have said we are not giving projections for the rest of the year because it's not possible.
Gosh.
You literally don't know. And so the fact that I mean, if there's positive news, I understand why the stock market goes up. If there's just no news, I don't get it.
I think it's because everyone thinks that was the bottom and they want to be the first ones to catch the top.
Yeah.
And so you think, oh, I see what's going on here. Cuomo said this looks like potentially the end of the flattening of the curve. I'm going to get in early.
Buy more.
I'm a genius. Buy more. Look at me. I'm freaking, what's the guy's name from The Big Short? The genius guy.
Michael Burry.
Yeah, I'm Michael Burry.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, man. I just don't get it. It seems rigged and...
Probably is.
Yeah, I hate to say stuff like this because I really try not to buy into this sort of thinking. I think good people don't win in this one.
No.
Like, I think all the wrong people win big in Corona. They get bailed out. They scam. They get, whatever. I really think Corona, this tragedy on the economy is going to help bad people. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Like the good people that sit back and run a good business and blah, 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 you're not getting bailed out.
Right.
The people that look out for other people, you're getting taken down with them.
I mean, that happened in 2008.
Yeah.
That was like the whole slogan Obama pretty much won on. Wall Street won, Main Street loses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, luckily Joe Biden will say, all right, Europe, what's up? I want to be your prime minister.
Like, which one's Main Street? Who's Wall Street? Which one's Main?
Damn it. Okay, do we want ads or no? Pete, what do you give
How
us?
do you think we're paying for this podcast?
Okay, Pete, give us 20 seconds of ads.
Let me tell you, my wife the other day called me to the kitchen and she said, you look like a goddamn bum. Will you fucking do something about it? You know what I did? I went over to the Menlo house and I clicked on my $20 subscription for the first month of the Menlo Club. Let me tell you, me and my wife, woo! Things have heated up ever since I started wearing my Menlo Club subscription around the house. Let me tell you, head to toe Menlo Club with the New Republic sneakers. My wife has never looked at me the same. We rekindled our marriage.
Wow. That's a good one.
Incredible.
It's like a whole new wife.
The Bronx.
Then my kid has been sleeping in his same, the same underwear and the same clothes for the last week. I said, get over to Young and Reckless.
Yeah.
Try on some of these clothes, buy them, start looking better, kid.
I hope you didn't have sex with him.
No. I stayed away from him because that is my child, and that's
And
wrong.
let me tell you what, we've never had a better sex life.
Never had a better relationship.
Talk about Young and Reckless, huh?
Oh, man.
All right, that's great.
Okay.
I thought about that in the shower this morning for some. Not the kiss thing. No. Just that whole scene. I decided it'd be a funny scene to pull together.
Okay.
Damn
good
it,
one.
Pete. All right, well, listen, that was what's his name? What's a good Bronx name?
What'd you
It's
say?
got to be like a Puerto Rican name.
Yeah.
For what?
For your character.
Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo from the Bronx. Yeah, Ricardo from the Bronx is had a great experience. So that was a
Or an
testimonial.
Italian name. Any
True.
good Italian name?
Either one, but that was true testimonial. From a real.
Yeah, that was Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, thanks for patching that in, Pete.
Yeah.
I don't know where you found that guy, but he was good.
He messaged me. Yeah.
Let's talk about friend of the pod, big launch,
Yes.
Quibi.
Quibi has launched. It's interesting. They've advertised everywhere. Everyone's seeing it everywhere.
Yep.
Pete asked me, I'm like, did you see that? I asked him, can you go check out that news show on Quibi? We should use this for my vlog. And he's like, what's Quibi?
Pete, God damn
Like
it.
I don't know what format Quibi is. I understand. I know I've heard of Quibi, but I don't know the form. Is
It's
it
just
10-second
Quibi.
videos? Is it YouTube?
I know, but
Is
you
it-
didn't even
it's
know what
Quibi.
it was. You had
No, I
no
know.
idea what it was.
But they
They even
advertise
have
everywhere,
billboards.
and it still was
I
like.
mean, they literally have every
Yes.
billboard, every ad in
and
America.
it literally goes, I'll be back in a Quibi. And I'm still like, what the fuck is a Quibi?
Nobody's
Okay.
even going outside, and they have every billboard.
Yes.
Just in case.
So
Still
Qui-
don't know what fucking
so,
Quibi is.
So people
So fire
who
their
don't
ad
know
agency.
who don't know what Quibi is, it is essentially a mobile streaming platform for content. And their whole premise, Quibi is quick bites, And the idea is high quality, sub 10-minute video.
Professionally produced.
Professionally
content.
produced. And the interesting thing about it is, so I played around with it. It's vertically shot and horizontally shot. So you can turn the phone and you see different angles. The quality of the technology is phenomenal. Like the way that it just goes back and forth, the way you can skip to topics on the news. I thought it was just unbelievable. The shows are ultimately what's going to make it. The technology is amazing. I watched the Chrissy's Court. I watched 2 news shows, and I watched some like thriller series. Not like the news stuff I really liked. I thought the news stuff was really good. The Chrissy's Court, I was like, whatever. I mean, it's like mind-numbing content.
Yep.
So I think I don't know who the target is for that. Is that young people? Is that housewives? But I mean, it could be the best time to launch. It could be a hard time to launch. Everyone's sitting around. Everyone's done with the Ozark season 3. So I'm guessing they're looking for a new show.
Yeah. I would have to believe it's the best time to launch, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
I mean, content consumption is just through the roof.
So, okay. So what about the thought of that? Quibi works great when you're on the go because
You're on the subway or...
yeah, like, do you think cell phone usage, this is what I was thinking. I think cell phone usage is actually down because people, like I used to watch shows on my Netflix in the Uber.
Yeah.
Right? And now that I'm not taking an Uber or not going anywhere anymore, I rather just watch it on my big ass TV.
Yeah, so I would just argue that most people have like already committed to their phones so much. Like people don't even have that set up at their house. You know,
Mine
it would be
reduced
my
by 3 hours.
Like I know young people. What'd you say?
I had 3 hours reduced on
Really?
my weekly
Really?
average.
Really?
Where are you watching your content?
I watch it mostly on
Laptop?
TV or computer.
Because young people are already just so. I mean, like I'll tell you, like my Instagram, TikTok time is definitely through the roof.
Really?
Through the roof. I mean,
I don't think I've opened TikTok
Any
once.
I love how this is the same
What?
Any
guy.
new trends on TikTok we should be aware of?
they're just really crushing the quarantine stuff, the trick shots. People are getting real resourceful. Like there's so many different types of content, not just dancing now. Like there's all this shit. I mean, it's prime. Because look, prime TikTok content is funny bullshit around your house with a cell phone.
And everyone's around their house with the cell
Yeah,
phone.
like dogs. Dogs are just having the time of their lives. Cats, you know, there's all sorts of funny shit going on. It's just really a hotbed for quarantine content.
Did the Drake song Dance catch on?
Yeah, it's big.
did.
It's really big. And there's a lot of like controversy, you know, because Drake made up a dance, right? Or they did, the world did. With right foot up, left foot slide, right? And there's one person saying that what he's actually saying, and this is proof that Drake doesn't write his own lyrics, is what they're describing is how to moonwalk. Because it's right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide.
Got it.
Dance like Michael Jackson. And then that's not what he did. And then girls are saying, they're laying in bed and saying it's right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide, like spread your legs.
Oh
wow.
my God.
Yeah, so there's all these like interpretations.
Wait, so you're saying Drake doesn't write his lyrics because he didn't know what his own song did?
Because he's doing a very different dance. He's not doing moonwalk.
So that was the joke. It's like,
yeah.
this is proof Drake doesn't write his own. I'm not saying that. That's what TikTok is saying.
Yeah.
They're saying because he made up a dance and that's not even what the lyrics meant.
yeah.
Right.
Anyway, great stuff. So I have no idea, but my guess would be there's so many people mindlessly scrolling through their phones.
Yep.
And 10-minute or less content, you're just gonna like fly through Quibi content.
Yeah, I mean, like I saw a reporter said, I watched everything in Quibi in one day.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good sign that you can consume it that fast. Like the news in a minute is kind of a genius idea.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
those
and
are,
I think that they're going to have the data in the first 60 days, 30 days to be able to raise more capital to purchase more content because that's the game.
Yeah.
You need more capital to keep buying content. So we're rooting for them. They're
very close friends.
yeah. Congrats to Dude Bro Anthony. He's been on the pod.
Yeah.
He's been involved with the launch.
I mean, what an undertaking! Like to even get that thing to, and just some beasts involved.
Yeah,
You know,
and
Whitman, Jeffrey
and just
Katzenberg.
how it's so much more superior of a user experience than everything else. Like the technology alone is phenomenal. Like to even I don't know.
Here's what else I give him credit for is in the LA world, every meeting you take, anyone in production, anyone on television, all they're saying is, "Hey, this could be good for Quibi."
Yeah.
Hey, do you think Quibi's buying a lot right
Yeah.
now? I'll tell you what they need
You
to
know
do
what?
though.
Group chat would be great for Quibi.
I agree. We can cut this down to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Do it 9 minutes and 59 seconds just for
fuck
Quibi.
You want to know what they need to do, though, is just buy some Tiger King content right now and
Yeah.
get some sort of special. They're saying Netflix is going to release another episode.
Yeah. They said
Really?
And
Yeah,
then
fun.
one of the other people, like a Discovery or something, announced that they're also going to do a series. Because, there's so much footage.
Yeah.
You could piece together something.
Yes.
Okay, next up. This one pisses me off. Curious your guys' take
Yeah.
on this. Apparently, the Carnival Cruise Line stock is soaring because the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund took a big stake. And it's just like, cool, man. I get it. But, like, cruises are dead.
Yeah.
Stop it. There's already, I just saw in the news, there's another cruise that's, like, stranded, and there's people. It's like, who the fuck left on a cruise a week ago?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You deserve to be stranded.
You deserve to be stranded. Think about what you did.
So here's my theory.
Oh, man, I have a good one, too. It's probably the same.
My theory is the Donald
Yeah.
called the Saudi government and said, you're going to go buy 8% of this pile of shit company, Carnival. We're going to help you with your oil. We're going to, play balls. I looked the other way.
I actually think it's
Khashoggi.
Khashoggi,
I
yeah.
think it's even simpler. He said, I will tweet, you're my friend, MBS. You're buying 8% of Carnival Cruises.
But why? What's the big upside for Donnie Boy?
So
No, well,
he's trying to protect an industry, which is the right thing to do.
But why cruises?
because
Cruises are MAGA, bro.
who's Mickey Arison?
right.
Is Mickey Arison?
Mickey, here's Florida?
Yeah.
Florida's all cruises.
you're right.
Yeah. So that's just for his people.
Yeah, and he's taking care of his billionaire homies.
Yeah.
He called. What kind of diligence are they doing? So let me do the math here. You have what 600 cruises a year. Okay, none of them will go out for the rest of the year. You know what? This is a great deal. Put our best team on it. Let's buy 8%.
Yeah, instead of talking about Donald Trump owning $450 of Sanofi, this is actually interesting, and I actually don't even have a problem with it. At least it's going to American business interest, and I have no problem with it, but it's pretty obvious what's going on.
Yeah. It's so obvious. When I said stake taken in Carnival Cruises, I'm like, oh my God, who the fuck bought stock in Carnival Cruises?
But don't you think people are going to be like scared of cruises for the next 5 years?
I don't think boomers will.
I don't think they care.
I think once the vaccine's here, boomers are going to be lining
All
up
you
on
can
cruises.
eat?
I gotta say, my dad was pissed that we roasted cruises.
Yes.
He literally, like, one of the, every now and then he gets serious and he's like, you need to leave cruises alone.
Yeah.
It's a great.
Out of my cold dead hands.
I'm pretty confident our parents would fly on to a cruise once
Love
this is
to.
over.
Love to go on a cruise.
I mean, my uncle it doesn't fly, and they just cruise all over the world.
Yeah.
They literally, it's like, did you know we found a cruise from here to Australia?
In 6 months.
And there's like,
See you then.
and a lot of Florida's economy is built around cruises. So
Yeah.
they're based in Florida.
Yeah.
I think there was a $300 million construction that one of the cruise lines was doing in Florida that came to a screeching halt. So it helps his state. I have no problem with it.
At least
sounds
dig-
like some Palm Beach massage parlor.
Oh, this is a
relation.
massage
Yeah.
parlor deal.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, real quick, let's do our last segment, and then we're going to toss to some in the field reporting. And
Yeah.
by in the field, I mean just in a different room on Zoom.
Yeah.
'Cause that's current in the field.
Yeah.
Okay, as seen on social, what do you guys seen on social media that's been exciting?
I just saw something just now that the Texas courts are now suspending abortions in most of the state due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Oh my God.
This is why having
Oh my God.
people in power in times like this that we make fun of are so dangerous.
Yeah.
This is why you have to vote.
Yeah.
Even at the local level.
Yeah.
Because it starts at the local level, all these initiatives, and then this is what happens. Now you can't get an abortion in Texas?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not 100%. The details are coming out right now, so by the time this releases, that we can get all. But it said most of the state will suspend abortions.
I mean, there are people getting so screwed over.
yeah,
They're talking about the rise, like crime in, let me just say, in LA is down like 23%. But then there's all these stories about how domestic violence is just through the roof.
yeah,
And like there's these people that like you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like normally you go to a friend's for help, go to the police, whatever. You can't do anything.
yeah,
People accidentally getting pregnant. Holy guacamole.
yep.
What a time. Name the kid Corona and say, you know what, man?
Yeah.
You're lucky to be here. Okay. Anand, what about you?
So WeWork is suing SoftBank for backing out of the $3 billion tender.
Wow. Why not?
Shoot your shot.
I mean, fuck it. Go for it, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. WeWork is going to zero, 100% going
Yes.
to zero. It is the squandering of billions of dollars at a level that we've never seen before.
Yep.
I mean, it is a joke.
You know who can work from home? Every single person who owned a WeWork.
Hey, you want to know what a WeWork is now? Everyone's house and apartment.
Yeah.
And they're all learning it now. That's the really bad thing, I think, for offices is like just simply seeing that it's not as bad as you thought.
Yeah.
I mean, look, even for us, like I want to have an office. I want everyone working together. I really do. But I can't ignore also that we're getting work done relatively just fine. I mean, let me tell you this. A year ago, Anand, you and I argued. I said there's no way, not our industry, we could not do it.
Yeah.
I would like to formally change my opinion.
Nice.
And I would say I need 400 square feet for design and production.
Yeah.
And you need a conference room once a week. Bring everyone together.
Yeah, we'll go to whatever the next version of WeWork is and we'll meet up there.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like where there's no other way commercial real estate is just a fraction of what it's worth today.
Yeah.
It's just impossible for it not to be.
It is. Well, they just have to repurpose it, right? Like, there's a housing problem in LA, right? Rents are too high. Maybe if this was an apartment / WeWork, like WeWork needs to be almost like you live and work in the same place, and they're just designed better for efficiency of working from home, and this becomes just a sick apartment complex.
And think about it. So we're talking about
That'd
that's
be pretty
one aspect is office buildings. What if these restaurant numbers are true? If it's 70% to 90% don't reopen, who the hell's taking that space?
No, but I think there'll be a revolution of new restaurants. There'll be new entrepreneurs that come and take that space.
But that's going to be a trickle down because that needs funding. That
Yeah, it
means
takes time. I agree.
It takes
I'm just-
years.
Yeah, but it will happen. Those spaces will get filled. Its problem is the restaurant business won't be bad in 6 months. The problem is that if it was so bad the last 6 months, that it's very hard to dig out of that hole. That's why. But like, if you open a new restaurant with new lower rents and labor, and you could potentially have a healthy restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is much more mindless. It's simply the Drake on Instagram Live. Drake keeps popping around on Instagram Live. It's
I
really
missed him. What time is it?
all over the place. So I even heard last night, I didn't see the clips yet, that he sort of previewed new music on Instagram Live. But he popped into, he did the one with his dad weeks ago. There's another one that I'm missing that he popped into. He popped in on Joe Budden, which
Wow.
I thought him and Joe Budden,
Yeah,
like,
they had beef.
Yeah, and like they had this really funny interaction where like Joe was like, "Oh, you don't fuck with me, whatever." And he's like, "I do, whatever. This is gonna go left. Let's do it later."
Yeah.
But like just these, I don't know. You would never in any other time get like these authentic
Superstars.
moments with
Yeah.
a global superstar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's some positives to Corona.
Amazing.
There you
I
go.
like that. I got to watch. Drake always does well on social media.
Yeah, I
what do you
gotta
got,
find
Pete?
him.
Quick question. Somebody brought it up. Easter. What happens? People say, fuck it, go with your family, or do they
I think
stay?
Jesus still rises, right?
What do you mean? You're talking about going to churches?
people-
Jesus might be social distancing.
Churches and or celebrations. Do you think you just stay in your home, or do you think people
yeah,
say,
I mean, no one's going to.
You do a Zoom special.
you don't think
Except in
families
Florida,
will start?
they'll get the exception. Louisiana, all the hot zones.
Yeah.
Bring it all back for Easter.
Yeah, I think like even our mother's pretty religious, and her group of friends are doing all their religious activities on Zoom.
Yeah, I agree.
So Zoom. Easter
yeah,
Zoom.
Easter's crickets.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to bring that back.
I mean, I'm
later.
sure a lot of young people are thrilled they don't have to go to church.
Yes.
I mean, are young people? I mean, this is your generation. Thrilled you don't have to go home see your families. The obligations of like, because the age of the mid-20s is when you really don't want to go home. You don't really want to do anything.
It's all
Mid-20s, yeah, but
dependent on like where if you're like close. Like for me, it would be nice because like I'm not from here, but like I don't know. If I was home, probably I'd be like, oh, thank God.
I think
I have to
mid-20s.
see everybody.
I think mid-20s are hyped. I think college kids are devastated.
Yeah.
Because they'd be out partying. The weather's getting warm. They're out with their homies.
Yeah.
Now they're at home with their annoying little sister.
I have to
Yeah.
imagine young people are they're still hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering the other day,
There's
like,
no
are
way
people...
I'm not staying in the house by myself.
See, exactly. That's the
And
problem.
why the fuck are you in the office with us?
Yeah.
It's around the.
All right, shut up, Pete.
That's why I have a mask
Before you
on.
get in trouble.
Okay, that's it. Let's toss to some live reporting. What do you guys got?
So on Friday, I made a content recommendation on a documentary called The Scheme. And I recommended it to anyone who's a sports fan, anyone who's interested in what's going on in the college sports scene, and anyone who's just interested in like a really amazing story. And it's about a young man that wound up being in the sports agency business and was essentially entrapped by the FBI and to pay coaches to get players onto their teams, right? And guarantee that he would get to represent the players when they go to the NBA.
Yeah.
Kind of FBI forced his hand into doing this. It's like they had fake investors. The FBI people stole money. It is the most biggest shit show. The Southern District of New York, which is known from the Billions TV show, which is known as the most famous law enforcement prosecutors, took the case in the hopes to nail some big-time college coaches like Rick Pitino and names like that, Sean Miller and the guy from LSU. And it blew up in their face. They got nothing. And they pinned it all on this like 25-year-old kid that he was like some criminal mastermind. I randomly reached out to him on Twitter. He DM'd me back, got him on the pod. We talked about it. He's incredibly eloquent. He's actually very level-headed in the way he thinks about the world and how he thinks about the situation. Way more mature than I would have been. I would have been like, fucking burn the ground, burn the system to the ground.
Yeah.
And Anand and I had a conversation with him, and really fascinating how he's treating it. Like, I was blown away. Like,
Yeah, he's way more mature than I would have been even now.
Yeah.
Forget being in your mid-20s. Like, he got screwed.
yeah.
Like, there's no way around it. They went after they thought they were getting big fish. They got nothing.
Yeah.
But they had to prove that they had to do something to save face, and they pin it on a kid.
And he has another trial that he's still facing that is appealing. So he's still potentially facing jail time. His name is Christian Dawkins. And it's an incredible story, incredible young man. And, wish him all the best. Thanks for kind of hopping on and sharing your story. I think our listeners are going to love this. And more importantly, you should watch the documentary.
And
it is fucking incredible.
The documentary is incredible. The interview was great. It was really nice of him to do that. And what really sucks is the Southern District is way smarter in Billions than they are in real life. Shocker.
Damn it.
So,
Okay.
here we go.
All right. Well, here it is, guys. Enjoy, and we'll see you on Friday.
All right, everyone. We got a special guest. If you listened to Friday's episode, my content recommendation was The Scheme, and it's this insane story how the FBI essentially entrapped a young sports agent into supposedly paying coaches, and it's literally the most insane story. And the reason why I'm so fascinated by it is, like, as a sports fan, for the last 15 years, I went to USC and I saw how players were used to make the school millions of dollars. And I always felt like student athletes got the raw edge of the stick. And then watching your story and you just being in basketball since your entire youth life, and then finding an opportunity, honestly, there's two stories here. There's obviously this story of college basketball and how fucked up it is. But the more interesting story I found was your entrepreneurial kind of passion at such a young age and how that materialized. How did you even get into this? Because if you haven't seen it, it's pretty fascinating.
Now, got into what stage? Because I've done a lot of things so far, but got into which part of it?
Yeah, I think the part where you became a youth basketball expert and then parlayed that into a profession. Because that's imagine you're a video game person and then one day you end up making money playing video games. You figure out how to do something you love and make money off of it, which is everybody's dream.
Right. So yeah, basically, my dad was a high school coach. We're from the high school program that we ended up all playing for and coming out of is essentially where are you from? What city you from?
LA.
So it's like the high school we went to is like how Crenshaw, the Reputation was back in the day, or Westchester when Tony Bland and them were coming up. Like it's a power program. So because of that, it was almost like I was born into it, so to speak, because that was our culture, that was our thing to do where we grew up at the high school basketball games. And it kind of just educated me. I pretty much got educated from observing, basically. Just watching people, watching situations, seeing how they played out, and putting two and two together, reading. And then when my brother passed away, my plan wasn't to become some power broker or something like that. I just wanted to hold events in his honor to raise money for the American Heart Association. And then our team, we already had a travel team, so we just renamed it in his honor. And then obviously once you're doing that, you're running events, you're running teams, you want to be the best at it. So I wanted to get the top players in my area. And that just led from that ended up, once you're around talented individuals and talented people who are worth money to entities and businesses, I mean, people figured out that I could be a way to, I could be, beneficial to their businesses. And it people just kind of came to me to hire me. And I was like, oh, this seems like a pretty good idea or a pretty good opportunity. And it just kind of blossomed from there. It wasn't like again, like you said, I would have done basketball no matter what. So it wasn't something where I'm like, I need to get paid. I literally remember, I don't know if he remembers this, but I remember talking to Andy Miller, who hired me, and we were negotiating, and I was like, I really don't even give a fuck how much money you pay me. And he was like, listen, never say that to anybody ever again. You will care. I was like 21 at the time. He's like, you will care one day. But at that moment, I was like, I'm working for a big agency. I've got players. Like, my life was amazing to me at that point.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
I was just saying, the fascinating thing from the documentary is you knew all along the investigation was a joke. You were like, how are we using taxpayer dollars to investigate this? I mean, they spent hundreds of thousands, if not seven figures, and they found nothing. And they basically made you the fall guy. And I was just like, it just made me so angry that with everything that's going on in the country, that resources were used to do this, and they just took you down for no reason because they needed to show that something got done.
To add to that really quickly, I didn't understand how the film ended. Are you still pending potential jail time, or?
Yeah,
okay.
We're still appealing the case right now. So hopefully we can win the appeals and they get overturned, because I mean, this is just the bottom line. Like, the first trial is about us defrauding Louisville University, and then the second trial is about me paying coaches. There's no way I could have defrauded Louisville. Like, I don't even want to hear the first one. I mean, that's just disgusting. The second case, with us paying coaches, like, my intention, not that those guys weren't people I was close to, but me paying them really didn't make a lot of sense to me, because it's like, first of all, they're my friends, clearly. So why wouldn't they would help me anyway? Like, I said that to Manish at one point on the phone, like, doesn't he understand that book is going to help me anyway? So the second case, I really have no idea, how they could say that I was mentally going into this to bribe people. There was money that changed hands, obviously. I said that I wanted them to give me the money back or act like, what was happening was legit. But even when I showed them that in trial and I had my bank records, they said I lied. So they just said, you're lying about everything. So I don't even know what I could really do. I don't know how possible we could have meetings in Vegas that in the exact dollar gets deposited into my account. I don't know how that's possible without it being their money. But they said I was a liar. So I don't really know what will happen, honestly, to tell you the truth. It's not, trial in court isn't what you see on TV, though. Like, it's not.
I agree. To give an example, we were in a lawsuit where we felt we did absolutely no wrongdoing, and we got creamed. We lost 7 figures. We were in awe because
the judge was actually asleep at trial. Like he would doze on and off of sleep while.
Now I will say this about our judges: the fucking the first judge, Judge Kaplan, is a genius. Like he ain't falling asleep. Like he's so much smarter than everybody. It's kind of scary that one person can be that intellectually advanced. The second judge, he didn't. I thought that he was fair. I mean, he wasn't rude or anything like that. It just comes down to it, man, that if you can keep evidence out of the case, it doesn't really matter what the judge feels. Like if you think about it like this, in the first trial, they said we defrauded the school out of the scholarship, but they wouldn't even let the jury hear how much money Louisville profited in the year that the case happened, or whatever the case may be. So if you're not willing to let a jury hear those kind of stats, but you'll paint this picture that we're defrauding a university, like it's really kind of rigged against you, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not gonna cry about it or feel bad for myself, but we didn't go into this with a fair chance to defend ourselves at all.
Yeah, and so what happens? Like, clearly everyone knows the system is broken. Do you think it's too big to fail at this point? Or do you think what you went through is gonna at least open up the everyday Joe's eyes? Because obviously everyone, I mean, like, we've all known this forever. We went to college. I'm friends with very high profile athletes. I know what went down. But like, now that everybody knows, do you think it'll change? Or do you think it's just...
Are you saying the criminal justice system or the NCAA system?
The NCAA system first.
The NCAA system will only change if they're forced to change. That no one, whether you want to call them good people or bad people, is going to give up $1 billion they don't have to pay taxes on. Like, no one's that nice. So I can't necessarily say I blame the NCAA for trying to fight and hold on to it. They have a great business model. Their business model works for them. So no, I don't think that they'll like one day wake up and say this is unfair. Let's pay the athletes. No, they're not going to do that. So no, I don't think that my documentary changes anything. I think that for them, they have to continue to turn a blind eye to it, or they have to part with their money. Which one do you think they'll do?
Yeah.
And as far as the criminal justice system, I don't think the system is really failing when you really think about it. Yeah. The system was never set up to benefit people like myself or people from backgrounds like myself. So from that standpoint, the system is doing exactly what it was set up to do. You have Marty Blazer, who can steal money and literally can convince the FBI in the Southern District, the brightest of our law enforcement, of all law enforcement in America, the Southern District is the best.
Yeah.
He convinced them to let him basically become an agent. I mean, if you really think about it, he had the authority to build cases. That would never happen for me. I couldn't steal $3 million and say to the police, "Hey guys, don't arrest me. Don't tell anyone I did this. Let me just go out here and find some people that's giving money to players and athletes." I couldn't do that. That wouldn't happen. So no, I don't think the criminal justice system is really failing. The people who made it and the people who orchestrated everything weren't making it with my people in mind. So it's working out perfectly if you really look at it that way.
You know, it's pretty interesting. You're a pretty level-headed person. Are you like, I'm pretty emotional with my business. Are you angry? Are you frustrated? Or you're just beyond that at this point and you're just like, I understand what's going on and I gotta just play this game?
Yeah, part of it is I understand the game now, and also too, what my business didn't really make a lot of sense if you really think about it to begin with. So a lot of what I'm doing business-wise now is it's a blessing in disguise that the case happened to me, because it kind of educated me on real business. When I got arrested, I didn't know anything about.
How old were you when you got arrested?
24. But like I knew about like representing talent, but I didn't know anything about a business. I wasn't running a business. I wasn't understanding margins and assets and profit and loss. I wasn't doing any of that shit. So when I really looked at the business after we got arrested, it really doesn't make a lot of sense for anybody just to manage talent. That's a shit business if you really think about it. So I can't really get mad at them for stopping what would have been a waste of my talents and gifts. I can't really be mad at them for that. They're stupid for charging people. That was stupid. But again, like I said in a public post, I don't want anyone to think that I believe that the FBI in the Southern District and people like that are not needed, or they're like all evil. That ain't the case. I've been around those guys. Listen, they're doing their job. Just how I have a job or you have a job, their job just wasn't in my benefit. But it wasn't like they woke up. At least I don't believe that they're waking up and not. Listen, these prosecutors think that players should be paid. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
They're just charging a case and they're doing a job, but they answer to people too. But don't think for 1 second that they're in after the court ends or when they go home that they think what they're doing is the right thing. There's no way they could call themselves smart and think that they're doing the right thing. So for me, it's not that I'm not emotional. I am emotional. It's just, what can I really do? I don't control this dynamic or the situation. You know what I mean? So I just got to make the best of it and just get better from it.
And that's the biggest flaw in the system, right? The NCAA has no incentive to break this up. And
Correct.
FBI and prosecutors have to pretend like they're doing something to solve the problem that the whole public knows, because it's technically still illegal, even though it shouldn't be.
No, it's not illegal. Don't get it confused. There's no law that says you can't pay players.
Right.
They made it illegal. If the NCAA does not exist, they can't turn this into a criminal case. This case does not happen without those rules. If I was to pay Brian Bone and he goes to the NBA, this case can't be charged. That was my point the whole time. You can't segregate crime where you can say it's not illegal if this guy's doing this and the players are going professional, but it's illegal if they're amateur, if they're going to college. That doesn't make sense. I can't kill you and get away with it because you're in college. And if I kill someone else, I get charged because they're in another phase of their life. That doesn't make common sense. So this isn't a crime. The action isn't a crime. That's the reason why they're fraud charges or bribery charges. Their argument is the universities are receiving federal funds, and those funds are being allocated to individuals who are professionals as opposed to amateurs. That's the crime. The issue with that theory is the people who give the scholarships out wanted this to happen. So if the highest paid person at the school wants it to happen, in the public figure, and the person that's in charge of these scholarships, why would I, who's not involved with the university, think that I'm defrauding you? That doesn't make sense. So that's their criminal theory. Their theory with the bribery case was the coaches are public officials, and because they're receiving funds that violate NCAA rules, they're putting their school at risk. The funny thing about that case is the jury basically voted and acquitted us on all charges that the universities were defrauded. So it's tricky, man. Like, the whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense, which is why I hope the appeal process straightens everything out and we, can get acquitted completely.
And so how do you move forward with your life? Like, I saw that you're going into music and you're going to the entertainment business. Like, do you feel that given what's happened and let's say you get acquitted, that you're going to be given a fair shot in the business world? Because, I mean, it's crazy. I watched the documentary in the beginning. My wife and I were watching it, and we're like, we're leaving for judgment if we like you or not, right? And just being honest. And then by the end, I was so angry and felt that you got treated so incorrectly. And that's when I went on like the hunt to find you, because I was like, as someone that came from nothing and built my business, it's so unfair. This is how society works. And I just hope for your sake, you're not judged by some previous action because the way people treat the laws or manipulate the laws aren't in your favor. And so how do you like wrap your head around like moving forward?
I mean, I think for me, man, I don't know if this is because I'm a psychopath or what, but I really don't spend a lot of time worrying about if someone is going to like me or if they'll accept me. I don't really care about that as much. I think when this is the bottom line, man, when everything happened to me, I found an artist. I know I'm good at management. No matter what anyone says, I know I'm good at that. So I found an artist, and it was a bidding war for him, and it ended up becoming a situation where we ended up getting a joint venture label deal. My partner, Alex Rifkin, and I. So it became a dynamic where, sure, I had all the case and everything lingering over my head, but we did good business and we were rewarded for it. And the same with everything that I'm doing now in TV and film. Like the first project that I'm involved with, the scheme obviously is about me, so I can talk about myself. But listen, regardless if you're involved or not involved, it's a good 2-hour documentary. So everything to me in business will be based off of what's the last thing that you did. So as long as everything that I'm involved with is fine and above board and its quality, that's all I can really worry about. I feel like if you put out quality into the world, some way, somehow, it'll reward you. So I don't really focus on my past or what someone will say about it. I just try to focus on the future and what I'm able to control and what everyone who's working with me is able to control. And if we handle that and we maximize that, we'll be fine. That's how I think. Maybe I'm naive, but yeah. I got to bet on myself and the people who are with me and trying to figure everything out.
And, let's assume the acquittal happens and the case is cleared. Do you have any interest in working in basketball again, or you've moved on to entertainment?
I will have, regardless if we get acquitted or not, I'll have a presence in the sports space. I won't be like day-to-day recruiting and all the other stuff that I was doing. But I'll have some opportunities in the sports. It's really just figuring out which one I'll deal with. Because anyone who in sports knows what it is. This isn't like, that's the easiest industry for them to understand. They know everybody in that business understands what happened. So whether I'm acquitted or not, I'll involve our companies in sports in some capacity, whatever makes the most sense.
Amazing, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope your sports capacity is sitting courtside at Laker games and just rubbing it.
Are you a Lakers fan?
Yeah, of course. Born and raised.
So when the season resumes, if the Clippers win, I'm a LeBron James stan, not even a fan. Like
you saw my wall here. It's all LeBron.
Like LeBron. I've had LeBron on my wall since I was like 13. Like my girl still gets mad at me. Like, you're a grown man. But I do think I want the Clippers to win. I feel jaded and weird about it because I like Patrick Beverley and Lou Will and Kawhi. I love them too.
Yeah, it's going to be great for the city either way. We need that win because morale is low out here right now. So, we'll take whatever we can get. But
100%.
Yeah, and I look forward to hanging out with you in person when this is all over too.
Yeah, for sure. Let's definitely connect. I definitely appreciate you guys having me for sure.
Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem, boss.